Hey Zach and Jesse, this is Mike in Boca Chica, Texas, and I just saw some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen in my life. So at the Launch Control Center, where you see the Starbase sign, is the first thing you come to heading east from Brownsville. And it's on your left side. You'll see in the background now, you see SN15 and SN16 there, and you'll see those behind the Starbase sign. The background of that is a bunch of shipping containers that look like they've been painted black, and then on top they actually have solar panels on them. So in addition to the solar farm further down, this kind of shipping container wall structure is used in a lot of places here. Behind this, you got SN15 on the left, SN16 on the right. I was told by a SpaceX employee that SN15 will fly again on BN1, and that SN16 will actually get to fly most likely on BN2. Another couple things you see is the Olympus Mons Airstream Park. There's a couple of Airstream parks on here. There's also, I believe there's a Mars Pathfinder RV park closer to Boca Chica Village, where the Boxable is, and the houses that were actually part of the village are further down. You could also see the nose cone manufacturing tent. You could see the rolls of the steel used for welding Starship everywhere. It was kind of organized chaos, and we got there around shift change, so there was a lot of people going in and going out. A lot of guys walking towards the Stargate building. If you look at the Stargate building, on the left of it, it says UT RGV, which is University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. So there is some kind of association there with the local college out of Brownsville. Prominent on the site is the high bay that was missing BN1 because it had been rolled out the week before and it was down at the actual launch pad. Another feature that was easily visible from the road was the lunar nose cone mock-up. It was a nose cone that was painted white, had NASA on it, but that was right outside the manufacturing tents, which look eerily similar to the Model 3 assembly line tent that was put up at Fremont. And then continuing on, the prominent thing you see are the two dishes for the satellite tracking station. Also back there is what appears to be a Starlink ground station. There is the large solar farm, and then it brings you to the restaurant. And the restaurant is easy to find because it has fins off of a test vehicle there used as the awning outside. Right after that is another entry to Boca Chica Village and some other various construction elements, but nothing kind of exciting. And down the highway is the launch site and the beach. The launch site is actually on the right-hand side, or the south side of the road. And the first gate that you drive up to, it's kind of a tank farm. There's tanks of all sorts, from LOX, liquid nitrogen, methane, vertical water tanks, and then kind of right out of the blue, you get to see Starhopper, and it is right on the fence. You're able to pull off on the north side of this road, but there you can see some of the suborbital pads. So BN1 is on one of those stands now, and it looks like it's being worked on more out there. When I first got there, it was still connected to a crane. I think it was on July 4th. But the next day, there were 3 crews that I saw on lifts working on it. The crane had moved elsewhere. The actual launch stand, see the elevator on the inside was not complete. You can see stairs going up, but the cranes, trucks, and people doing their thing. At that end of the site, you get to see the orbital launch pad, the legs and stand right there next to the vertical integration tower. As you move down the road, another prominent feature are these tall stainless steel tanks, which I understand to be the ground support equipment tanks, which are the shell of a Starship. So they're using that same design for their ground support equipment tanks. And beyond that is what I'm understanding is the power and comms building. Looks like an office maybe constructed out of shipping containers. Did not actually see a Raptor engine on site. We continued on to the beach, drove down and took a look at Mexico, set up camp in the back of my truck. And this is why I'm really excited to get a Cybertruck, because I think this setup that I have now is just going to be pretty much exactly the same, but turned up to 11. Because you're so close to the launch site, let me show you what the view was from the campsite. Had a great time looking at some really cool stuff. Got to get up close and personal with SN15, 16, and just wanted to share with you guys. I'm sure this will have already changed a ton when you guys see this, but I encourage anybody that's in the area, you want to take a trip down there, I'd say it's totally worth it. So although I didn't get to see a launch, I know I will in the future, and I'm really looking forward to that. And if anybody's wondering if it's worth the trip down here, you know, even without the launch, it was amazing. See the work going on. It's actually real. I mean, I've been following this for as long as I can remember, but to see it in person gives you a really, really brand new and appreciative respect for just the immensity of this project. It's amazing. So now you know.